window and stand, and Lando came in and said, "Excuse me, mate, you're in the wrong place. You have to put." He'd no idea what goes on in the cool down room. He'd never been there before in 239 races, so I think kind of he was the winner in a way.
Yeah, he was. I mean, go on then, do your shocker whilst you're at it.
Well, I mean, Colapinto didn't even do a lap, did he? Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Colapinto was
crashed in qualifying, didn't start the race, and will we see Franco Colapinto back in an Alpine Formula One car for the next race in Belgium? Because the rumours are we might not.
Rumours are we might see Piastri. Rumours are we might see Jack Doohan back. So yeah, I had him down as my shock. Was he your shocker of the week as well there, Crofty?
Yeah. He was one of the shockers of the week. I almost voted for myself for driving an open-top sports car into Silverstone on Sunday in the pouring rain, to be honest. That was a bit of a major faux pas.
I know why you did that, by the way. Hold on. I know what you did. You just wanted to wave to your adoring fans like the Queen.
Yes, absolutely, yes. And lots of waving was done. And I also wanted to see if Mrs. Croft's hair would stand the test of an open-top sports car on the A5. It didn't. There were lots of shockers. Charles Leclerc was a proper shocker as well. He went for an extreme setup and had a pretty horrific race. I thought putting up a black screen so the fans couldn't see what was going on in the pit lane after the race was a bit of a shocker. I'm told that wasn't down to Silverstone, but if the fans are going to come on the track, let them see the action. Whoever made that decision, please reverse that for next year. But I'm going to go shocker. Jeremy Clarkson and his weather app. He told me before the race it's going to be bone dry. Look, here's my weather app. We've got all our weather stations, all our farmers in Oxfordshire. It's going to be bone dry during the race. And I get the feeling that Red Bull listened to Jeremy, had a setup for the dry for Max Verstappen. That didn't work for him. And Jezza knows diddly squat about the weather, it seems.
Oh, very nice. But I mean, you could also probably add Mercedes to that. There were quite a few, as you said, that had shockers. I mean, that was and 5 of the 6 rookies.
I'm sorry to hear that they weren't able to see what was going, because typically at the end of the race, they gather around near as they can to the podium. And that's part of the celebration. And also the drivers sometimes come out to the fence. We have to have the fence there because there's obviously debris problems and stuff like that, and security has to be held up. But nevertheless, we used to go to the fence and celebrate with all the fans. It was fantastic. So I don't know what happened there.
My moment of the weekend, and we'll come on to yours. I got a glimpse of it just as we were coming off air, Champ, and you hadn't told us that you were doing this. It was a surprise to all.
It was Eddie Jordan tribute band, the Robbers, who he used to play. So Eddie basically he loved being on stage. He loved playing music, and he had a band called the Robbers. And he basically befriended a guy called Luca Pacetti, who was a busker. And this guy lives in Covent Garden. He's a professional busker, and he organized the band, and they had a great band. And around that, we put up what was a celebration or reenactment of the gig that Eddie started. Actually, Des Large, who was yesterday at Eddie Jordan's memorial. Des Large is his brother-in-law, I think. Anyway, 1994, he turned up with a truck, and he brought his friends of mine, and they rocked and rolled in the paddock. And Eddie was there, and all the drivers went. David was there, Johnny Herbert, and everyone else. I can remember. The stage was packed with drivers after the race, and then this became a tradition. So that's why the gig, the post-race gig, happened. So because of Eddie, we basically reenacted it, and we had a lot of drivers and people who were important to him up on stage, and Mike and the mechanics, or Mike and his mechanic Tim Hire was there. He didn't bring the rest of the mechanics. So Mike, good friends of Eddie, and we banged out a few songs and cheered on and celebrated Eddie in the way that he would have loved it.
I could see out the cook, because we were still just finishing presentation, and I could see it on the big screen. and there was a crowd that was bigger than.
Ali, he was informed of his F3 promotion. When Helmut rang me and said I would be competing in Formula 3 next year, I didn't really know how to take it in, McLaughlin revealed. It was quite a weird moment, but I was so happy with it. I'm really excited to get going. For McLaughlin, the rapid transition is both daunting and thrilling. I think I'm ready. I had a good season and Helmut believes in my ability. Motorsport moves quickly, so you have to take every chance you get. Staying with High-Tech for 2026 provides continuity and familiarity for McLaughlin as he adapts to the more powerful F3 car. The move also places him on the Formula One support bill, racing on the same weekends and circuits as the world's top drivers. That opportunity is not lost on him. Racing alongside F1 is exciting, but I'm focused on my job and my job only, he said. It will be tough, but I'll work hard behind the scenes. I want to be on the F1 grid someday, but first I need to deliver a strong rookie season, maybe even take a few wins. The teenager remains grounded despite his fast rise. He acknowledges that the journey has only just begun, and that success in F3 requires not only speed but consistency, discipline, and mental strength. We'll keep our feet on the ground and keep working hard, he added. Being grateful is the most important thing. Life moves fast, so I'm just trying to live in the moment. But I'll work as hard as I can to try and win the championship. That's always the goal, but above all, I want to enjoy the experience. McLaughlin's story has already drawn comparisons to some of Red Bull's most famous protégés. Like Verstappen, he has skipped rungs on the traditional ladder. Like Vettel, he has joined the academy early and impressed immediately. Whether McLaughlin follows that trajectory to Formula One remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: the teenager from Northern Ireland has seized every chance so far, and his meteoric rise is only gathering pace. As he straps into his Formula 3 car for the first time in Jerez, he does so as a champion, a Red Bull Junior, and a young driver with his eyes firmly set on motorsport's biggest prize. Finn McLaughlin is taking another giant leap in his young career. Just days after sealing the British Formula 4 Championship, the 17-year-old has been confirmed as a driver for Formula 3 in 2026 with the High-Tech team, a move that places him directly on the path toward Formula 1. The announcement comes as McLaughlin prepares to take part in his first F3 test at the Jerez circuit in Spain, the same venue where his journey with Red Bull began just over a year ago. In August 2024, McLaughlin traveled from Northern Ireland to Jerez for the Red Bull Junior Team Shootout ***. At that point, he had limited experience in car racing, but his karting background and raw speed impressed the selectors. The gamble paid off. McLaughlin joined the prestigious Red Bull program, following in the footsteps of drivers such as Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen. Now, less than 14 months later, he returns to Jerez not as a hopeful, but as a champion ready for the next step. I came here for the Red Bull Shootout with nothing to my name, and now I'm about to drive in Formula 3 at the exact same track, McLaughlin said. It's quite special. I never really thought about coming back here. It's just amazing. McLaughlin's progress in his debut year of car racing was remarkable. Driving for High-Tech, he dominated the British F4 season, securing the title with 2 races to spare. Along the way, he collected 5 race wins, the Rookie Championship, and valuable consistency across the campaign. The title-clinching moment came at Brands Hatch, where McLaughlin crossed the line in Saturday's opener to secure the crown. The victory brought visible emotion, as the teenager realized his lifelong dream of winning his first championship in cars. It was surreal, he admitted. I was just trying to enjoy the last weekend in F4. To have my first car racing championship under my belt is just amazing. Everyone in my family sacrificed so much, so to share that moment with them was incredible. Traditionally, drivers graduating from F4 would move to GB3 or another European championship before attempting F3. But McLaughlin's potential convinced Helmut Marko, Red Bull's influential motorsport advisor, that he was ready to skip a step. Marko wasted no time in making the call. Just hours after